Good evening to all members of the 162 families, and in particular, um, good evening to my dear parents. You did something that I've been hoping that you would do, something very courageous, something that I believe is the right decision to make, and that is you sent your children back to school. They were away from us for almost a year and a half. And even though you know that I feel that we did everything that we could on remote, everything with hybrid, that in no way is the way that we feel day by day for the past 3 weeks as we open our doors and all the children come back. In case you're wondering, 99% of the students that were accepted are now in house. We have only a few of you who are opted to homeschool. But what is different about this year? Do you know that our enrollment exceeds what it was even before COVID? And so we're welcoming 115 of you to the 162 family, and that's a magnificent thing. But what I wanted to do this evening is to discuss three things because I think you probably have questions, and I'd like to answer those questions. The first thing that was a concern to me, a concern to our board, and certainly is in your minds, is the issue of class size. We decided prior to us opening that 20 to 22, a maximum of 22, would be the class size that we felt uh, kind of a break point where we felt the children would be safe. We were able to provide enough space in between the desk, and so we've been monitoring our enrollment. At this point, and I'm talking about Friday of last week, we have no class that is above 22 students. The average class is about 18 students, or to be very precise, 18.5, but I know that you don't look at it that way. But what we've decided to do is to hire some additional teachers. We are hiring teachers at the fourth grade or the sixth grade this week. We're looking for a kindergarten teacher. We want to prepare for the future because we feel that there are students out there that have not yet enrolled, and we want to make sure that we have no class size over 22. So that's our number. We're going to do everything possible to maintain that number because, to be quite honest, we don't anticipate that COVID is going anywhere. We believe that what we're doing now, trying to socially distance, maintaining sanitary conditions, masking, um, emphasizing vaccinations, we're going to be doing this, we believe, certainly for the rest of 2021, but possibly through our closure in June of 2022. So class size is a paramount importance. Most of our teachers are feeling very comfortable with that class size, and we would not want to make either you, our students, or our teachers uncomfortable. So if you're thinking and you have in your mind, where is the district going in terms of class size, we're going to do everything possible to maintain the class size of 22. We have open classrooms, and we're in the process now of hiring additional teachers just in anticipation of. But something else that's probably on your mind, certainly I hear it every day because I'm monitoring the news, and that's the whole issue of vaccinations. Where are we? Well, at this point, 418 of us, in other words, 90%, 418 of the adults that interact with your children on a day-to-day basis are vaccinated. And then we have 41 who are not. So the question arises, what about the 41? You're well aware also that the governor issued a mandate to say that everyone must be vaccinated or they must be tested on a weekly basis. We decided that we could not do something that is not within our area of expertise. We're educators. Some of us have PhDs, but that's not the same as an MD. And so we're partnering with Dr. Richard Watson and Emerge staffing to make sure that there is a doctor, a professional, someone that's an expert in epidemiology, giving us his advice, but more than giving us his advice, performing those tests that we think are essential to keeping us safe. So when does this occur? Every Wednesday here in our district office from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. If you're interested, if you feel for whatever reason that you would like to take a COVID test, in addition to the testing that we're doing for our staff, please contact Mrs. Deborah Dusky. And when this video is over, you will receive her number. Certainly, you can access her via her email, and she will make arrangements for either you or your children to take a test. But something else has arisen. We found out from Dr. Watson that we can tell our level of immunity by examining antibodies that are contained within our blood. So many of us are taking antibody tests because we want to get a sense of what's going on within our personal bodies. And so that's the second thing that we're doing. We're also, when I say we, I really am not, but Dr. Watson's nurses, and he has an on-site presence and supervision. We're giving first and second shots, primarily Pfizer, but once again, you can contact Mrs. Dusky if you've taken Moderna, and if you're have taken Johnson & Johnson, and she will advise you. But we do give first and second shots. But a question arose, what about the booster shot? And so what the doctor is doing is looking at our vaccination cards, asking us questions about our personal health, and then he is prepared, if in fact it's necessary, and it is our wish, to give booster shots. So on Wednesdays, it's an interesting day. You know that our district office is located in a school. It's called Southland. And so while we're educating children, the doctor and his nurses are giving COVID shots, giving booster shots. They're doing 2 different kinds of testing, but we felt that we needed this kind of expertise rather than doing this ourselves. We certainly know on the open market that there are test kits. I don't think that would give you or us a secure feeling that we're doing the best we can. Dr. Watson is also helping us with our contact tracing. I'm not sure that you're aware, but on each child's desk, there is a name. No one else sits at that desk. The same thing on the buses. We have seating charts. And so we're trying to do everything that we can to limit the exposure and to limit the numbers of children that would have to be quarantined. So far, I believe that the schools are doing a magnificent job because we have not had an outbreak. And so class size also is related to safety. Safety, we're emphasizing, of course, sanitation, masking, and vaccinations. And the last step, of course, is the testing. And so if you wish to access us, once again, that's Mrs. Dusky, but those are the things that we're looking at in order to keep our community, our families safe. And I think it, thus far, has given us a sense of peace, a sense of safety, and I do invite you to talk about it, just to talk about it. If we can make you feel the same way that we feel on a daily basis, then I think it would be a dream come true. But let me tell you about something that is not a dream. It's almost a nightmare, but not quite. And that is transportation. You're already aware of the bus shortages, and you're aware that everyone has modified their schedules. Our bus company has been for 25 years, Kickard Bus Company. And for the most part, I think that they've done a magnificent job. But 162 is the largest of the elementary districts in the Rich Township area. We need 52 buses on the street to transport our children every day. 52 buses, that's what we need. At this point, Kickard has been unable to supply those buses. You're aware that in the morning we went to Positive Connections for the Huth in order to get the students to school, because that was also a modification of the time. But still, busing remains an issue. So what is it that we're going to do? First of all, we are not going to go back to our regular schedule until October 4th. So we will continue on our early dismissal schedule until October 4th. And what is the reason for that? A lack of bus drivers. If any of you would like to drive a bus, certainly you can contact Kickard, but it is a 4 to 6 week training period. I can understand that. But the issue for us is we need 52 buses. And we have to make sure that our buses run relatively on time, which has been the issue lately, because it's important to you, but it's also important to us in terms of what time do we begin and end instruction. So we will stay on our early dismissal schedule until October 1st. What will happen on October 4th? That's a Monday. On October 4th, we're going to go back to our original schedule with one exception. Our original schedule is that we close at 2:15. As you know, we're now closing earlier than that. We have been notified that even in the best of circumstances, there will be a shortage of 12 bus drivers. So what to do? One thing that we could do would be to continue ad infinitum on this early schedule, but you're talking about hours and hours over time, not yet, but over time, that would take away from the instructional program. And so there is a short-term, what we hope, a short-term solution to this. At the Huth, which, as you know, is our middle school, we plan to close at 1:45. We're going to dismiss at 1:45, and all this will be shared with you in another format. But on October 4th, Huth will close at 1:45. Why? Huth has 12 buses. They will deliver our students home, and then they will be reassigned to the other 6 schools so that they can dismiss at 2:15, and then in the best of all possible worlds, 15 to 30 minutes later, they would be home also. We need to dismiss the Huth at 1:45. Many of those children receive the earlier children, the younger children, and so therefore it's absolutely necessary that we send them home first. So on October 4th, all schools, with the exception of the Huth, will dismiss at 2:15. Huth will dismiss at 1:45. Those children will be at home waiting for the younger children, but it should enable us to run a reasonably on-time schedule. You've been very patient this year. I don't know if I've been quite as patient because I'm on the other end of this, but I understand, and you understand the reason that there is a shortage of bus drivers. But one thing that we can't compromise, and that is safety. And we're going to keep ad infinitum. I don't know how long we're going to do that, but certainly within the short run, teachers on all buses. We must do that because you cannot worry about your children. I can't worry about where the bus is. We're all worrying together. And the fact that you know that there's a teacher on the bus will keep us all a little bit sane while the bus company works out these issues. Something else I've been asked, what about the numbers of children on the bus? We have never programmed a bus that had more than 2 children per seat, and we will not do that under any circumstances. I believe that it's going to take the bus company possibly up until our Thanksgiving break to correct some of these problems. But with this one small modification, if Huth goes to 1:45, we pick up 12 buses, we deliver all the rest of the children, and then hopefully, over time, as I said, Kickard is hiring more bus drivers, and we come up to our 52, which is what we need each and every day. So I look at everything that we're going through, and I always think that a challenge is an opportunity for creativity. A challenge is an opportunity for leadership. Recently, I believe that a challenge is an opportunity for courage. But as we move towards the Christmas holidays, uh, you perhaps don't have the sense of joy that I have, because above the mask, I see the excitement that your children have because they're in school. I know that this is what they want to do. I also hear what the teachers have to say. Um, they share with me constantly that the empty buildings left a void in their hearts. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for sending your children back to school. We'll do everything that we can, first of all, in terms of safety, but secondly, we hope to have just an absolutely fantastic instructional year. And thank you for a little bit of your time. Stay safe.